You know that moment when you think you're being helpful, but you're actually just being a complete bitch? Yeah, well, I'm Aurora, I'm 27, and I had one of those moments that basically destroyed my entire relationship. Anyway, make sure to hit that like button if you enjoy hearing about my messy life, and don't forget to subscribe. If you're new here, trust me, you'll want to stick around for this train wreck. So there I was coming home from brunch with my girls, Sienna, Jade, and Chloe, feeling all enlightened and shit because we'd had this deep conversation about relationships and truth. These bitches had spent the entire meal picking apart everyone's boyfriends, including mine, Camden. And look, part of me agreed with them. Camden had gotten comfortable, like really comfortable. The man was 29 and still wearing the same ratty hoodies from college, had this tragic haircut that screamed, "I cut this myself." And yeah, he'd put on some weight since we started dating 2 years ago. Not that I was perfect, but at least I still made an effort, you know? When I walked into our apartment, Camden was doing his usual Sunday thing, sprawled on the couch, scrolling through his phone like it held the secrets of the universe. He barely looked up when I came in, just gave me this lazy, "Hey, babe," while his eyes stayed glued to whatever mindless crap he was watching. And something about that just irritated the hell out of me. Here I was coming back from a nice brunch where I actually looked put together, and he couldn't even be bothered to acknowledge me properly. So I dropped my purse, kicked off my heels, and just said it. The girls all agree you're like a solid 4 out of 10, maybe 5 on a good day. They think I could do way better, but whatever. Just thought you should know since we're all about honesty, right? I said it casual, like I was telling him we needed milk or something, because the truth is, I thought I was doing him a favor. Like, wouldn't you want to know if people thought you were punching above your weight class? Camden looked up from his phone then, and I swear there was this split second where something flickered across his face. But then he just said, "Cool," in this flat voice and went back to scrolling. I was already heading to the bedroom because, what else was there to say? I'd delivered the message, planted the seed. If he wanted to do something about it, great. If not, well, that was on him. But here's the thing, Maiden, and I'm being completely real with you here. I didn't say it to be cruel. I said it because my friends had a point, and I was tired of being the girlfriend who had to defend her man's appearance every time we went out. Sienna's boyfriend was this total gym rat who looked like he stepped out of a magazine. Jade was dating this guy who dressed like he had a personal stylist. And Chloe, don't even get me started on her boyfriend's jawline. Meanwhile, I'm over here with Camden, who thought dressing up meant wearing his least stained hoodie. The worst part, I could see how people looked at us when we went out together. I put effort into my appearance. I worked out, I did my makeup, I dressed well. And then there's Camden, looking like he just rolled out of bed. It was embarrassing, if I'm being real. My friends never said anything directly to my face before that brunch, but I could see it in their eyes. The little glances, the way they changed the subject when I tried to brag about something sweet he'd done. They were judging, and between us, I was starting to judge too. That night, I noticed Camden was quieter than usual. He went to bed early, and I could tell he was thinking about what I'd said. Good, I thought. Maybe now he'll actually do something about it. I wasn't trying to be mean. I was trying to help him become the best version of himself. Isn't that what girlfriends are supposed to do? Push their partners to be better? The next morning, something weird happened. Camden got up early, like really early. I heard him moving around the apartment at like 6 a.m., which was bizarre, because this man usually hits snooze until the last possible second. When I dragged myself to the kitchen for coffee, he was already dressed and heading out the door with a gym bag I didn't even know we owned. "Well, where are you going?" I asked, still half asleep. "Breach, gym," he said, not even looking back. "See you tonight." And just like that, he was gone. I stood there in my pajamas, coffee mug in hand, wondering what the hell had just happened. Camden didn't do gyms. He complained about his knees when I suggested we take walks together. But apparently my little reality check had actually worked. Over the next few weeks, this became Camden's new routine. Up at dawn, gym before work, home late and exhausted. He barely talked to me anymore, just grunted responses when I asked about his day. And look, I should have been happy, right? This was what I wanted. Him taking care of himself, putting in effort, but something about his attitude was starting to piss me off. It was like he was doing all this work, but somehow making it about punishing me. He had come home sweaty and gross, go straight to the shower without even acknowledging me. He stopped our usual Netflix binges, claiming he was too tired. Our conversations became these weird, stilted exchanges where he'd answer my questions but never ask any back. It was like living with a stranger who happened to share my bed. Then came the shopping. Camden, who used to shop exclusively at discount stores, suddenly started coming home with actual brand names. Good jeans that actually fit. Shirts that weren't from the clearance rack. He even got his hair cut at an actual salon instead of that sketchy place in the strip mall. And I'll admit, he was starting to look different. Better, obviously, but also kind of intimidating in a way that made me uncomfortable. The real kicker was when he started getting attention at work. Camden worked in some boring office job that he never talked about, but suddenly he was mentioning conversations with female coworkers, compliments on his new look, invitations to after-work drinks that he always declined. And I found myself getting weirdly jealous, which made no sense because this was literally what I'd wanted. 3 months after my little honesty session, Camden announced that we were going to dinner for my birthday. "Everyone's coming," he said, which meant my girls and their boyfriends. "Wear something nice." The way he said it, like he was giving me instructions instead of making a suggestion, rubbed me the wrong way. But I was curious to see how this new Camden would handle being around my friends, especially after they'd been so brutal about his appearance before. When we met at the restaurant, I barely recognized him. Camden had always been decent looking under all the lazy grooming, but this version of him was, well, hot. Like legitimately hot. The kind of hot that made other women in the restaurant turn their heads when he walked by. And my friends, their jaws literally hit the floor. Sienna, who'd been the most vocal about Camden being a 4, couldn't stop staring. "Holy shit, Aurora, what did you do to him?" she whispered when he went to the bathroom. "Nothing," I said, but I felt this weird surge of pride mixed with something else I couldn't identify. He just started taking better care of himself. The dinner was uncomfortable in ways I hadn't expected. My friends, who used to barely acknowledge Camden's existence, suddenly couldn't get enough of him. They laughed too loud at his jokes, found excuses to touch his arm, asked detailed questions about his workout routine. Meanwhile, Camden was different. More confident, more engaging, but also somehow colder toward me specifically. When Jade's boyfriend went to get drinks, she leaned way across the table toward Camden. "So, what gym do you go to?" "I really need to get back in shape." Before Camden could answer, I cut in. "He goes early morning. You don't wake up before noon." "I could change that," Jade said, smiling at Camden and completely ignoring me sitting right there. The drive home was silent until we got to the apartment. Then I exploded. "What the hell was that?" I demanded. "They were all over you." Camden looked at me like I was speaking a foreign language. "I was just sitting there, eating pasta." "You love the attention. Don't even lie." "Your friend spent 2 years treating me like trash," he said, his voice eerily calm. "Now, I look better and they're interested. You really don't see the problem. The problem is you encouraged it. How by existing..." I went quiet for a second. Then the truth just spilled out. "This is exactly why I told you what they said, so you'd improve yourself for us." Camden stared at me. "You wanted me to look better so your friends would stop judging you. Not because you cared about me. You just didn't want to be embarrassed." "You're twisting my words." "Am I though?" We argued in circles until he went to bed, and I took the couch fuming. Because he was making me out to be some shallow bitch when all I'd done was try to help him become a better version of himself. Why was that suddenly my fault? Things got bad fast after that birthday dinner. Camden went cold, spending more time at the gym barely talking to me. Then Jade DM'd him on Instagram asking for workout tips. When I told him not to respond, he just stared at me. It's just a question about working out," he said. "Don't respond." I repeated, and I was shaking because I could see where this was heading. She's still trying, even after you told them to back off. I hesitated. My friends said I was being insecure, that maybe if I'd maintained myself better, you wouldn't have needed such a drastic transformation. Camden sat down slowly. She said that to you? Yeah, can you believe her nerve? But Camden wasn't looking at me with sympathy. He was looking at me like he was seeing something for the first time and it wasn't good. So block her number and delete her from your life, he said. She's my best friend since college. So she just blamed you for your boyfriend improving himself, then tried to slide into his DMs. Best friend behavior. A wrong thing to say. I went off about how he was trying to isolate me from my friends. Classic manipulation, how I'd never like them anyway. And this was just his excuse. But even as I said it, I could hear how crazy I sounded. Camden left. Came back 2 hours later with Chloe, and they both stared at me like I was the villain. We need to talk, Chloe announced, about how you're treating her. How I'm treating her. She's been miserable for weeks because of you. Ever since you got all hot, you've been distant and cold, like you're too good for her now. I watched Camden's face change as Chloe spoke, and I knew she was making things worse, not better. Let me get this straight, Camden said slowly. Your friends decided I was a 4. She told me I worked on myself, and now I'm the bad guy because suddenly they're interested and she's embarrassed. You're twisting everything around, I said. Chloe stepped closer. Look, maybe the girls were harsh at brunch, but you had let yourself go. She was trying to help. Women don't want men who stop trying. She did you a favor. Camden's laugh was cold. Right. And I'm sure her rating me a 4 out of 10 was super helpful and not at all designed to keep me insecure and grateful she was with me. My face went red. Chloe glared. You need to leave, Chloe said. Give her space. It's my apartment. Then we're leaving. Come on, sweetie, you don't need this negativity. They left, and I didn't hear from Camden for days. When he finally texted asking to talk, I showed up looking rough. No makeup sweats, exhausted from crying and obsessing over every detail of our fight. I've been thinking... I started. And I talked to my therapist. I was projecting my insecurities onto you. When my friends made those comments, I should have defended you. That was wrong. Camden nodded. I appreciate you saying that. So I want to work on us, but I need you to do something for me first. Tell Jade directly that you're not interested. She's convinced there's something between you two. I've never given her any indication. I know, but she doesn't listen to me. If you tell her, she'll have to accept it. Why can't you just cut her off? Because she's my best friend. I can't just end a friendship over this. Camden's expression shifted. She's hitting on your boyfriend and told you it's your fault for not maintaining yourself. That's not best friend behavior. So you won't do this one thing for me after I apologized? You apologize for one thing, not for the fact that your friends actively disrespect our relationship, and you keep defending them. This is what they said would happen. They said once you got hot, you'd dump me. I defended you, and here you are proving them right. I'm not dumping you because I got hot. I'm reconsidering this relationship because your friends are terrible people and you can't see it. He left again, more final this time. That night I got another Instagram message from Jade. Heard you guys are having problems. If you need to talk, I'm here. No judgment. I screenshot it and sent it to Camden. No response. 2 hours later, Chloe messaged, Things sound rough with you two. I mean, I always thought you deserve better. She's so insecure. If you want to grab coffee and talk, hit me up. Screenshot sent to Camden, still nothing. The next morning at the gym, because yes, I'd started going to Camden's gym to accidentally run into him. Guess who showed up, Jade? Full makeup matching workout outfit that looked brand new hair done like she was going to a photo shoot. She spotted me and walked right over. Oh my God, what are the odds I finally joined this gym? You mentioned it at the birthday party, remember? I said trying to play it cool. Well, I figured since I'm serious about fitness now, I should go where the pros go. She looked around. Is Camden here? Maybe he could show me around. I'm totally new to this. I felt my stomach drop. He's not here. But of course, at that exact moment, Camden walked in. Jade's face lit up like Christmas morning. Camden, perfect timing. I was just telling Aurora how I need someone to show me the ropes here. Camden looked between us and I could see him putting the pieces together. They do free consultations. I'd rather learn from you, Jade said, stepping closer. Not happening. Why not? Because you're my friend's boyfriend. Interesting, because she told me last night you two were done. Said you'd become a different person, that the relationship ran its course. I watched Camden's face change, and I knew Jade had just signed my death warrant. For the record, Camden said, pulling out his phone and starting to record, you're saying Aurora told you we broke up. I didn't say that. Jade's eyes went to the phone. What are you doing? Stop recording me. You're insane. No wonder she wants out. She stormed off and Camden sent me the video immediately. Please come over. We really need to talk. When he got there, I was crying hard. Mascara everywhere, the whole mess. Oh, I never said we broke up. I sobbed. I swear. I said we were having problems, but never that it was over. But she felt comfortable hitting on me at the gym because of what you told her. I covered my face. I know. You were right. They're terrible, all of them. I'm blocking Jade right now. I pulled out my phone and blocked the number in front of him. And I'm telling the others I need space, that their behavior is unacceptable. Good. But Camden looked at me with something I'd never seen before. Pity, maybe. Or just, exhaustion. Is there still a relationship? I asked. And that was the question that changed everything. I think we're done, he said quietly. What? No, I'm fixing it. I blocked her. You blocked one person after she showed up at my gym and lied about us being broken up. That's not fixing it. That's damage control. So that's it? You're giving up? You told your friends about our problems knowing they'd use it as an opening. That's not an accident. I couldn't respond to that because between us, he was right. I had known exactly how they'd react. Part of me had wanted them to see that other women found Camden attractive now that I wasn't settling anymore. Camden left and I started apartment hunting that night. Moving out was harder than I expected, but Camden made it clear he was done. The first few days, I wouldn't stop calling and texting, going from sorry to angry to desperate. Finally, he had to threaten harassment charges to get me to stop. But my friends, different story entirely. Jade tried adding Camden on every social media platform. When that didn't work, she somehow got his new address and had flowers delivered. Chloe found him on a dating app and sent flirty messages. They even filed false complaints about him at his gym and job, trying to make his life difficult when he rejected them. The final act of entitlement came when Jade showed up at Camden's apartment building, demanding he give me another chance because I was a wreck without him. You did this to her, she told him. And I did this by breaking up with someone who told me her friends rated me a 4. Camden replied. We were just being honest. Would you rather we lied? You should be thanking us. The audacity was stunning, but Camden shut her down completely. Told her to stay away, told her to tell me to move on because he had. And he had moved on. Started seeing someone new a few weeks later. Met her through mutual friends, not some dramatic rebound situation. She was nothing like me, which probably said everything about what Camden had really thought of our relationship. Me, I'm still trying to figure out where it all went wrong. I mean, I told Camden the truth about what my friends said. He improved himself and somehow that made me the bad guy. I gave him the motivation he needed to become a better version of himself. And instead of being grateful, he threw it all back in my face. The truth is, I don't regret telling him what my friends said. Someone needed to, and it obviously worked. Camden looks amazing, now has more confidence, probably makes more money. I did that. I pushed him to be better. And yeah, maybe my friends were out of line hitting on him afterward, but that wasn't my fault. I ran into Camden at the store a few weeks ago. He saw me, turned his cart around, went down a different aisle, didn't even have the decency to say hello after 2 years together. It's like I never mattered to him at all. But here's what really gets me. Everyone acts like I'm some terrible person for being honest with my boyfriend about what people thought of him. Like I was supposed to just smile and pretend everything was fine while my friends judged our relationship. I was trying to help him, trying to save us from embarrassment. And somehow that makes me the villain in this story. Whatever. Camden can have his new life and his new girlfriend. I hope they're very happy together. But I know the truth. Without me pushing him to be better, he'd still be that same guy in ratty hoodies who thought a chain haircut was acceptable. He owes me for the man he became, even if he's too proud to admit it.